Welcome back, children. My greatest Olympic prize. Yeah, in last slides we saw how Les Long was speaking with Jesse Owens about the fouls he was making, and he asked him that reason for what and what is going on in his mind. Children, brain is one main source where we fight with ourselves. Yeah, on our face we may not show, in our words we may not express, but many a times a war inside a man is very dangerous than the war what he is fighting outside. Yeah, never keep grudges, never keep bad thoughts, never keep inferiorities in mind, and never keep that you will do something bad for someone. No, children. A man deserves, or a place or a country deserves what it should. You should have a well built humanity for your life. Let us see. Believe me, I know it. I told him and I felt good to say that to someone. For the next few minutes we talked together. I didn't tell Long what was eating me, but he seemed to understand my anger. And he took pains to reassure me, although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement. He didn't believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part, though an inch taller than I. He had a lean, muscular frame, clear blue eyes, blonde hair, and a strikingly handsome, chiseled face. Finally, seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to me the takeoff board. Children, Les Long placed his hand on the shoulder, and he took the confidence of Jesse Owens. He said, "What is eating in your head? What are you thinking other than sports? You have the ability to win the trail even without seeing the dashboard or that sports board or the ground. With closing eyes you can win, but you are making fouls. What is eating in you?" When he said these words, Jesse Owens got back his confidence by listening to that person who was feeling confidence in him. Being in Nazis, he was prepared for winning. He wanted to, because Hitler wanted the supremacy, but Les Long never wanted any supremacy. He wanted to compete. And Jesse Owens is explaining about the appearance. Let me read out that once again. He was 1 inch taller than Jesse Owens. He had a lean, muscular frame. See, Les Long was quite very handsome. Blue eyes, blonde hair, and a strikingly handsome chiseled face. Chiseled face means one attractive lean face. Okay, long face he had. Finally, after speaking with Les Long, Jesse Owens, already now he was calmed down. Then he pointed to the takeoff board. Now the main event was motivated. "Look," he said. The word look, it was filled with energy. "Look," he said. "Why don't you draw a line a few inches in back of the board and aim at making you take off from there? You will be sure not to foul, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify. What does it matter if you are not first in the trails? Tomorrow it what counts." So now Les Long gave one simple idea to draw a line because he was crossing the line. He wanted him to limit himself from where he should jump and not to make a foul. And he said, "You jump from the point and you don't have to make the foul. You have to cross the length what I have already covered. Means you should jump more. Today it's fine, but tomorrow it counts. If you make the same fouls tomorrow, then you will lose the game. You will be disqualified. Today you are just taking practice." don't make fouls. Suddenly, all the tension seemed to ebb out of my body as the truth of what he said hit me. Confidently, I drew a line a full foot in back of the board and proceeded to jump from there. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. Fine. His words hit in his ears with such a confidence that all the negativity, all the fear, all the exaggeration, all the overconfidence just faded away. His words confidently hit him, and being a sportsman, he took the motivation. He was inspired. He drew one foot back the line, and from there he started to take the trail. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. See, with the confidence which was given by Les Long, he won the qualifying round. That night, I walked over to Les Long's room in the Olympic village to thank him. See, Jesse Owens, who was hating this white people, he took his foot, means he lifted his legs towards the tents where Les Long stayed. Yeah, all the athletes were given particular place to stay in. He went to Les Long's tent or room. I knew that if it hadn't been for him, I probably wouldn't be jumping in the finals the following day. We sat in his quarters and talked for 2 hours about track and field ourselves, the world situation, a dozen other things. That night, I walked straight to the room of Les Long, and there we sat for hours together and started talking about many things and about the sports, about the countries, and about friendship. We forgot the racial differences between us because of, especially Jesse Owens, forgot and came out of the prejudicistic feeling which he had created for winning against this white people. Now he was a true sportsman. They talked about dozens of things that night, and now there was no difference between them. When I finally got up to leave, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed. Les Long would go out to the field that next day trying to beat me if he could. But I knew that he wanted me to do my best, even if that meant my winning. That night, when he got up leaving from that Les Long's room, Jesse Owens knew that Les Long wanted Jesse Owens to compete the best, even if he is winning against him. Tomorrow was their performance, and night they had a great talk between them where they coordinated about competition but not about winning. They wanted their best to be performed, especially Les Long wanted Jesse Owens to perform his best, not for winning but for the best performance. And Jesse Owens knew that Les Long will not even feel bad if he wins against him. As it turned out, Les broke his own past record. In doing so, he pushed me on to a peak performance. Les Long did his best. Best means by beating his previous record. I remember that at the instant I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record, 26 feet 5 by 16 inches. He was at my side, congratulating me, but me won against him, and I broke his record by jumping 26 feet 5 and 5 by 16 inches. He was at my side, means Les Long was Jesse Owens' side congratulating me. He was congratulating me and he was cheering me, despite the fact that Hitler glared at us from the stands not 100 yards away. Hitler was standing to see Nazis winning, Germans winning, that is Les Long winning. Only 100 yards away he was glaring at us, staring at us with anger. Les shook my hand hard, and it wasn't a fake smile with a broken heart sort of grip either. Les Long shook my hand with confidence, and he was quite very happy for me. It was not a show off, it was a true gesture given by him to show that I have done my best. You can melt down all the gold medals and cups I have, and they couldn't be a plating on the 24-carat friendship I felt for Laslong at that moment. I realized then too that Les was the epitome of what Prairie D. Contrabin, founder of the modern Olympic Games, must have had in mind when he said, the important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. Yeah, children, gaining golden cups and gold medals and reaching the highest point is the important focus in the sports. But here Jesse Owens got the real golden friendship from Laslong. You can melt down all the gold medals and cups I have, and there couldn't be a plating on the 24-carat friendship I felt for Laslong at that moment. When Laslong congratulated Jesse Owens, even when Laslong knew that Hitler will not leave him for this, he felt that his friendship was more than 24 carats gold, which is the purest form of the gold. Even after melting all the gold medals and cups, what he has won before will not be equal to the golden friendship what he received from Laslong. At that moment, in the ground, when he won, and that to being in the army of that Nazis, he was congratulating and cheering this dark fellow, and he shook his hand proudly. He did not do any show off, he did not hide his friendship. He was confident and he encouraged the true sportsmanship. Then he remembered the words from the person who framed this Olympics, Prairie D. Contrabin, the epitome of Olympics, and he saw this epitome in Laslong. What was the focus behind this Olympics, children? Must the person who made this Olympics, maybe he had this thing in his mind. The important thing in Olympic Games is not winning but taking part. Yes, reaching Olympics itself is one great achievement. Not winning but to take part in Olympics itself shows your ability. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. Yes, my dearest children. Here, the Olympic ground, which is the best one, is compared to the life what you are leading. This earth, this world, this country, the place where you are living in becomes your Olympic field, where you have to compete well, not to win but to fight well, not to show your prejudices or not to show your difference of opinions or not to be the superior by stamping the weaker ones. No, children. Actually, life is a fight, same as Olympics, where you have to compete well with true sportsmanship, true empathy and true humanity. Same here, which was shown and proved by Laslong in case of Jesse Owens. This is one true experience shared by Jesse Owens to show the lesson of sportsmanship, where being a great sportsman, where he was little prejudiced and he wanted to prove himself and he wanted to take the supremacy against the white people. But being a white person means being superior. Laslong won the game of humanity. Same, I request at the end of this lesson that my all students who are learning this lesson learn true sportsmanship, learn the true game of humanity, learn to be a beautiful person in this world and be an example for the next generation. Same as Laslong. Don't fight as Jesse Owens in the beginning in the trail events. No, don't keep negativity inside your heart and brain, which will always lead you towards destruction. But if you motivate yourself towards the betterment of this world, towards the betterment of this humanity, you can win the game of this life. At the end of this year, when I am completing the portions for this year, I request my all students to learn the lesson of humanity. Here we complete your English literature syllabus for this 10th standard. Thank you, my dear students.